I thought I was singing, but I was actually screaming. So under occupation, I wrote challenge. You are not the artist we are looking for. There's like a certain type of artist that they were looking for, and I noticed even from the people that they picked, something is wrong. Maybe you didn't practice. Imagine you've over practiced and then someone is telling you maybe you didn't practice. And then finally, Jasmine himself. Sounds like a name like Jasmine, like Judgmin. So the first judge goes, he tells me, it's a no for me. The next judge also says, it's a no for me. And then this other judge is a bit gracious. I am the stone that was rejected. So I want to tell you my audition story. Back in the day, Celtel announced a music competition called Star Search. Now, the Celtel Star Search is debatably the biggest music competition or talent contest in the history of Zambian entertainment. Debatably. Or maybe for that time it was the biggest. So they had this little red application form or entry form, very nice looking, very colorful, and this is the one that every potential participant needed to fill out, where you enter your details and tell Celtel a bit about yourself in order for them to consider you for the auditions. So I remember, filling out that form, and I was seated at home in Chilenje, and I was entering my details, name Brian Wembia, stage name B-Flow, and then the part where they ask you about your occupation. For some reason, I never understood what occupation meant. I actually thought it meant the area you occupy, the place where you dwell. So occupation to me was like, okay, so where do you stay? So under occupation, I wrote challenge. So I've still kept that little form in my archives. And so yesterday I was looking at it and I just died laughing at myself, like, how in the world did you think occupation meant where you stay, the place you occupy? That was so funny, man. Anyway, yeah, so I entered all my details, and then when I was just about to submit the entry form at Celtel, I grew cold feet because I was thinking, I'm in Lusaka, and then Lusaka is very competitive. Lusaka, it's tight in Lusaka. I'm thinking, like, if I participate from Lusaka, I will face serious competition because this is where all the studios are. This is where all the talented artists are. So what do? My strategy now was to go back home. So I decided to go back to my hometown, Kabwe, to go and enter from there with the view. It's like that track is enjoying my story. So I decided to go and enter in my hometown, Kabwe, with the view and the hope that I was going to beat everyone there. That I was going to outshine everybody back home because I had rehearsed enough. So I went back and entered from Kabwe, and I was accepted into the auditions, and I was given an audition number. Now, once the audition started, I prepared adequately, and I had a song called Zikola Zambia. And that song was talking about the status quo, like the current situation at that time in the nation. Now, I'm talking around the time Mwanawasa was actually serving his first term as president of Zambia. So I was talking about some of the situations that were happening in the country that time. That's how long I've been around. I've been around for a long time. Activist for a long time. That's just on a lighter note, guys. So now the thing is, back then, when we are preparing for a recording session or an audition, we used to actually rehearse, like heavily rehearse, to make sure that by the time you're coming to do it, you are tip-top, top-notch. You know what I mean? So I made sure that I rehearsed. But it seems I over-rehearsed. And you know what happens when you over-rehearse? You strain your voice. So I strained my voice, And to be honest with you, during that audition, I wasn't at my best. So I get into this marquee, this gazebo, this tent, and I find these 4 judges, very intimidating. They are not smiling, they are looking at me. So I walk in, I find Gesh Groove. I'm like the legend. First of all, I'm starstruck. Next, I see Jen Osborne, another legend in the music business. Then I see a guy called Zidowski. And then I see TK Romacide, the renowned producer who at that time was the most happening producer in the country. I'm like, oh my God. Now the thing with TK is he was always my dream producer. As a matter of fact, let me take it back a bit. At this point when I am auditioning for the Star Search, not only am I not at my best, but I'm also a very experienced artist when it comes to auditions, because prior to that, I had already participated in other auditions such as the Trod On auditions that were organized by a man called Papa Mickey, may his soul rest in peace. I had also participated in Music Crossroads. I had also participated in an audition that was organized by a man called Mr. Ignatius Chongwe, and this one was called History in the Making. It was happening on the 11th of September of that year, and this was partly to also honor the memories of the people that died on 11th September. You remember the story. So in this particular audition, I actually won an opportunity to go and record with a producer of my choice. And it so happened that I chose TK because he was my dream producer. So I went to Romacide, recorded this song sponsored by Mr. Ignatius Chongwe. And then I remember even asking TK while recording, like, you know, now that I've got the opportunity to record with you, can I just have that guy Romacide on the song, you know? And then he refused. He broke my heart. He refused. He was like, no, that's reserved only for the artists that are signed under Romacide. They say it's not just for anybody, you know what I mean? That's TK for you. So, because the thing is, back then, just having the Romacide on your song could make you famous, could get your song in any place. Anybody just hears Romacide, yeah, a star already. And then so I couldn't get it there and then. So it was still a dream of mine to say, one day I will have that Romacide on my song. Now this guy, I get to meet him at the auditions and he's a judge. And guess what? He's the meanest judge